The old wooden sign, splintered and weather-beaten, lay half-buried in the damp earth, its warning long since rendered unreadable. He gave it a passing glance, a dismissive shrug, before stepping past the tree line into the waiting darkness. A thick, chilling fog immediately swirled around his ankles, muffling the sounds of the world he'd left behind and replacing them with a profound, unnerving silence. The air grew heavy, cold, and still as he ventured deeper, the beam of his flashlight cutting a nervous, trembling path through the oppressive gloom. The forest felt ancient, watchful, and utterly indifferent to his intrusion. He pushed onward, drawn by faint, indecipherable whispers that seemed to slither through the mist, always just at the edge of his hearing. They were like promises of a secret, luring him further into the labyrinth of gnarled, skeletal trees. It was then he saw the marks. Deep, ragged claw gouges torn into the bark of an ancient oak, fresh enough that sap still oozed from the wounds. His heart began to hammer against his ribs, the flicker. His flashlight beam sputtered, died, then reignited, weaker than before. In that brief moment of darkness, he saw them impossibly tall, thin shadows dancing at the periphery, their movements jerky and unnatural, defying the logic of a simple breeze. They were there and then gone, phantoms in the fog. Deeper still, where the whispers grew more distinct, his light fell upon a figure crumpled at the base of a twisted pine. It was a man unconscious, his face pale and his clothes torn. A primal fear, cold and sharp, seized him. He didn't hesitate. Hauling the limp body over his shoulder, he turned and ran, the man's dead weight a terrifying burden. The forest seemed to awaken in fury. The whispers became a cacophony of guttural hisses and enraged shrieks. Branches, like skeletal arms, snatched at his clothes, and the very ground seemed to writhe beneath his pounding feet. A colossal shadow, blacker than the night itself, detached from the trees and lunged, its form a nightmarish amalgamation of teeth and claws. He burst from the tree line with a final, desperate surge, collapsing onto the dew-soaked grass of the open field. The sound ceased instantly, and abrupt, deafening silence fell, the only noise the ragged gasped from his own burning lungs. He was out. He was safe. But as the camera slowly pulls back from his exhausted form, a final, chilling whisper drifts from the impenetrable darkness of the woods, a lingering promise that the forest remembers, and it waits.